we have an average of 70 to 80 new mine victims per year, which means 1 to 2 per week. And we have also old mine victims, victims that have been amputated maybe 20, 25 years ago, but they have complication of the amputation stump, and we continue to treat them. That means normally we see around 100, 110 patients per year.
Trong gì cá này, họ ấy là thực tập đi ship tuần tập đi đó, là tôi muốn sản phẩm đi khi gì vậy tại anh tôi đi
cả là tôi mình tôi đặt trường lừa chỉ con hay đừng đặt thêm đai môi hay đừng đặt lừa có đai mà chỉ hiền hay đừng chơi mà hiền tiên của miền trâu không pe làm vong tại môi đừng tiên thế không chặt không aram đôi phơi ấy mình ca mình ban được đội nè đặt xây nè tây cho môi rùm phùm những cái này.
Cambodia is a country that endured different wars for more than a period of 30 years. These wars involved conflict that spilled over from international conflict and also civil wars. These wars involved the armories of superpowers, and the leftovers from these wars have made Cambodia one of the countries in the world most heavily contaminated with landmines and unexploded ordnance. This problem can best be seen by looking at the map of Cambodia. This is the map of all areas that have been cleared of mines and UXO. The cleared areas are coloured green, but this is the map of areas that still need to be cleared. The red areas are landmines, and the yellow areas are bombs and UXO, mainly from aerial bombardment.
Based on information, we know that around 46% of Cambodia villages are affected by landmine and UXO. Therefore, landmine and UXO problems, it's not just about personal security problems, but it also causes a huge economic problems.
Yes, but where exactly do you start? This is important because not only are lives at risk, but donor money for clearance is declining and the cost of clearing mines is increasing. Therefore, accuracy and efficiency in finding and clearing former battlefields is now extremely important.
In 2007, the Geneva Centre conducted a study into 15 different countries around the world, and they looked into the total area that had been cleared, and they found that out of 292 square kilometres of cleared land, only 2.5% of that actually contained any hazardous ordnance. The study, I think, provided a moment of reckoning and indeed understanding in the industry that too much money and too much effort was being put into clearing areas that had no mines or other UXO, and areas that really did have contamination were being left and still being a danger to the population.
CIMAC had a lot of experience of clearing mines for almost 20 years. And then 2003, we want to speed up the mining activity, cost efficiency, times, and then we developed a area reduction system. The area reduction system look quite similar to the land release. And then in 2008, CIMAC cooperated with GICHD and PA to develop a detailed system of the land release. Now, CIMAC had 6 stages process of the land release. This is a very thorough system. Stage number 1.
Now, let's look at one specific minefield in northwestern Cambodia. It was identified by CIMAC's baseline survey in 2009, and it was a former Khmer Rouge stronghold. This is minefield 20133. The outer boundary is clear, yes, but exactly where are the mines inside this boundary? Because it'd be wasteful to apply full clearance when mines contaminate only part of the inside area.
The most important thing of the land release is the assessment. So the surveyor have to conduct reassessment before deploy the demining asset. This meeting is very important. The reason why, because these people, they know where mines should be in this area. He have a better idea than the other because he got accident in this area and he know where mines should be present. He lived in this area during the war. So they all are very accurate information. Without them, we will waste a lot of money and time.
All this information is fed into the CIMAC central database. This includes information from the non-technical survey out in the field and also all information from earlier surveys. This is analyzed by military experts who then make final decisions about creating different sectors in the minefield. They also decide on the different levels of threat in these sectors and then how best to deal with them. This is CIMAC's Excel spreadsheet. It's very detailed. There are 43 different assessment factors for each sector. Not every assessment factor can be identified in every sector, but it's detailed enough to systematically reveal the locality and levels of threat and reliability of this information. Now, back in our minefield, Sector 1 becomes a low-risk area. This is because people have been living here for at least 3 years without accidents. Sector 2 becomes a high-risk area because CIMAC knows from its non-technical survey that this was a defensive position where anti-personnel mines were laid. Sector 3 is more problematic and is divided into boxes for sampling. It's medium risk because CIMAC knows that a few mines were laid here. These boxes will be sampled according to geographic and strategic factors. All the information about the minefield goes into a dossier. This dossier must be checked by the demining unit manager before demining can start. The next important stage is the briefing for clearance teams. These teams need to know all about the different zones and the different levels of threat. All the zones are potentially hazardous, and the teams need to be fully briefed on the best and safest way to proceed in each zone. This is where all of that information and interpretation from the non-technical survey will finally be implemented. Now, Sector 1 is where people are actually living in the minefield. There have been no accidents in this Sector 1, yes, that's right, but of course, people living there are still afraid. So CIMAC decides to use a single search dog team to check this sector. This is comparatively flat and open ground, and this is where mine detection dogs work most efficiently. The other advantage of mine detection dogs is that they're not distracted by metal fragments. They're trained to find only explosives, and their entire lives are devoted to this task. Accordingly, this low-risk sector is comparatively easy to deal with. But when people live and work in a minefield, it's not always as simple to decide on how to proceed.
Remember, many incidents still happen in the areas that people use almost 20 years. And you can come back and ask us why 3 years using it and confirm that it's safe. No, not that kind of methodology that we use. The methodology we use that the areas can be reused, can be released due to the confirmation or information from the people there have no evidence, have no information that areas contaminated by landmine after 3 years of using those areas. So then we release it. Certain areas also, if they use like all the way around 20 years, but it still confirmed that, information confirmed that they lay mine there, there were mine there, but have no, and we found a lot of evidence that mine exploded there in the past years and so on like that, then the areas will not consider as safe to release. We will have mark it as suspected areas, and we need to have a physical verification. That means non-technical survey need to come in and verify the areas.
ផ្នែកទី2ដោយសារផ្នែកទី2នេះដោយសារវាជាព្រៃហើយវាមានទំហំ16000 ម៉ែត្រការ៉េត្រូវការប្រតិបត្តិការ4ថ្ងៃដោយសារវាជាប្រភេទមានមីនទាំងស្រុងអញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវការបោសសម្អាតទៅលើផ្នែកនេះទាំងស្រុង
This was a defensive trench system. It marks the boundary of Sector 2. This is the high-risk area. CIMAC knows from its non-technical survey that on the other side of these trenches, the Khmer Rouge laid anti-personnel mines, so this sector is targeted for full clearance. Big brush-cutting machines are used where possible to clear the ground first before manual deminers are used or before mine detection dogs are sent in. This swing machine or flail is used if the ground is flat enough and if the vegetation is only around medium level. Safety, efficiency and speed are the key factors.
ផ្នែកនេះមានការសង្ស័យទៀតអញ្ចឹងមិនដឹងមាននៅកន្លែងណាពិតប្រាកដអញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវធ្វើការពុះប្រអប់ដើម្បីរកភស្តុតាងពេលដែលពុះប្រអប់ហើយយើងត្រូវឆែកក្នុងប្រអប់ដែលមានភស្តុតាងនេះដើម្បីឲ្យអស់ចិត្តថាតើមានមីននៅសល់ទៀតអត់
The first stage in the Sector 3 is to clear safety paths into the boxed area. These safety paths are into the boxes that the non-technical survey indicates are the most likely to have evidence of mines. Accuracy is very important according to exact measurements from GPS. Where necessary, this area is searched metre by metre. It's a very systematic process based on interpretation from all of the information in the non-technical survey.
The land release methodology is also flexible because you can change the task all the time. For example, you are going to clear a minefield and less mine found, then you can change to be survey task to looking for evidence. It's the same idea when you do the survey task and you didn't found and you found a lot of mine, then you change to be clearance task.
Everyone at CIMAC, all members of staff, are aligned to the land release methodology. Land release is standard operating procedure for everyone. This is why CIMAC puts a lot of emphasis on training.
The land release training is very important because this is an updated methodology. It may waste a lot of money and resources because if they don't understand the process very well. It is also a good idea to get feedback from the staff when they have an experience in the past. This staff is the mining unit level, so they have to get well understanding about the methodology. If not, we waste a lot of time and we could not apply the land release methodology.
Land release is very important process. It enables us to produce double or triple productivity with the same resources by maintaining good quality and safety. I strongly believe that land release can be used for all mine-affected countries around the world.
And this is what land release is all about, giving cleared land back to the people more efficiently so they can get on with earning a better living safely and so that the whole country can develop faster. CMAC operations also include working with partners to develop roads and irrigation systems and also building better culverts and replacing old bridges.
These people are learning how to make the best advantage of their land, how to grow crops better, and how to make a better living. These kids in this area are now safe, thanks to CMAC and thanks to land release.